Anyone can make themselves a millionaire.
The trade to $1 million is insane.
But it's still possible for them to do it, no?
It's
Wait, these are who can?
But to say anyone?
How are people going to, in a third world country, make money to be a millionaire
Then maybe
when
the way to become a millionaire from one of those countries is get out of the country.
you can't just get out of the
I
country?
understand
I'm
that.
somebody.
Oh, hey there. Did you know that with AI's advancement, you too can be a millionaire?
What
Or
are
at
you
least
talking
work-
about?
I would only date a millionaire.
No.
3,
No.
2, 1,
What?
go.
Hold on. Okay, I need to make sure I'm. Which one is this?
Hell
Can
no.
anyone be a millionaire?
Person I want to date, I want to be able to show them, all those experiences firsthand. Like, I've been with girls who have money, and it's like the worst thing ever. Like, for example, like the one thing for me, and it's a test I do, is like, for example, if a girl knows how
Somewhat
to get
agree?
into my car, like my Lamborghini, like you have to like specifically know how to open the door. I specifically let them figure it out. If they figure it out, that's the last that's the last date.
Seriously?
That's the last date we're going on.
I want my husband to be like a really good dad and be like morally correct. And if he doesn't have a lot of money, you know what, that's fine. I don't know if men really are comfortable with that, to be completely honest. From my personal experience, they're not. They want to be the ones providing, which kind of sucks.
That's true.
But, personality and morals and like their mindset is way more important than money.
I feel like money doesn't define a person at all. Like, if I'm gonna date you, it's for your personality, not your looks, not your money. I don't care. From personal experience, money has absolutely nothing to do with a relationship.
So I agree with you guys, but as a woman, I don't want to be the one paying the bills and taking care of their house. And so for me, like, you don't have to be the richest person in the world, but if I'm gonna be a millionaire or multimillionaire or whatever it is, I at least want to be the person that encourages you to do the same.
That's true.
But I don't want to be.
Not that I'm a woman.
I've had it done before,
But-
and it's been the most exhausting thing because it's like, you can be the sweetest man ever, but if we go out and I'm paying for everything and I'm doing everything, it's too much. That's why I'm just like, I somewhat agree that I need you to be a millionaire.
Yo,
at least
she
be
made mad
making
people
enough
switch
money to
over.
where I'm fully taken care of, and then we can be a powerhouse together like Beyonce and Jay-Z. So.
I think
Love
a
that,
lot
the
of the
voice.
times it's different from a girl's perspective versus a guy. I think girls want to be taken care of. I think that's a beautiful thing. I've always just been the one to take care of girls and pay for everything. I think as a guy,
Digital
you should be
development
doing
firm.
But I mean,
Millionaire
on
at
this topic, my point is
18?
you brought up something saying, oh, if the girl doesn't know how to open up my car door, I wouldn't even.
Millionaire at 16? What am I doing at myself? What am I doing wrong?
Date her.
What is going
I feel like,
on?
I feel like it's ever so selfish because you feel like, oh, I want to get happiness by making this
What am I
money.
doing
I'm gonna
wrong?
spend money on her. But at the same time, I feel like the only binding factor in
Bro.
a relationship is money at that point, right? Because
Yeah.
if you stop providing money to her, then she gets used to that lifestyle. Then she's like, okay, I'm gonna find someone else.
The reason I say
For a
that
business
is
or
'cause
side
I feel-
hustle?
I wasn't looking at it like a
Bro,
sense
I'm
of like
finna
that,
become an
but more like getting
entrepreneur,
used
bro.
for it. Like, girls will want to go on dates with you because you can take them to that dinner. They want all of that. So I feel like that's very common that they will use you for that. And it's like it's a thing I'm scared of, like it's happened to me many times. So it's like, I said it like that and it sounded kind of crazy. And everyone was like, oh, what the hell? But like, you know what I mean, like, it's common. Girls will only come to you because you have the Lambo, because you make the money, and they don't care about you, So that's what I was kinda going at. I like a girl
What
who
do you do
just
as an
doesn't
entrepreneur? I don't even
care
know,
about
bro.
money at all,
I like-
Something that I do
I
whenever
don't know,
I
maybe
meet
like
people
maybe like clothes
is
or something.
I don't tell them my
Or
name.
like
I
buy
don't tell
resell
them
or
my Instagram.
like
I don't want
drop
them to be
shipping or
able to
some
search
shit.
me up, know how much
Drop
money I
shipping
make,
is something
know
that
where
is
I live,
popular,
and know
though.
the
I
lifestyle
wanna
that
start
I
something
live
new.
because that's how I avoid people using me for money.
Yeah, I have 2 different Instagrams, so like.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
I have one Instagram I'll send to them, and like, if,
So you can make a brand?
kind of test.
Yeah, probably,
Like,
yeah.
they look through it. There's no cars.
Yeah.
Nothing flashy. It's like me and my mom and like Marshall's clothing, and like if they with that, like then we go on, Yeah.
No, I actually have a rule. If you know who I am, you're officially like off the list. Like I cannot talk to you at all. Because
Oh my God.
what happens is
Poor guys.
in the past, like when I've met guys and they know like what I do, we'll go out and I'm like, okay, we're going out to dinner. I look nice and everything. And then they're like, so do you know if you could teach me how to trade? And I'm like, okay. And it's just like dread the rest of the
There's no way
night.
that's happening.
No.
Like, there's a guy
He
that
like pulls out like a notebook.
It's
He's
like the
ready.
number one thing.
What? Why do you no, hold on. Why do you go to the date just to like I feel like dates are getting to know each other, right? Obviously. So like why are you going onto a date wanting to know more like I don't never mind.
My name is Kelly OG, and I am the biggest secret that you've probably never heard, which is okay because it's a secret. My net worth is about $20 million.
What do you think makes you a great entrepreneur?
My relentlessness to never give up. I've never believed that I couldn't do anything. Even in the cases where it was probably not the most likely, I've just always worked towards it, saying one day it's gonna come. And I
20
think that
million
work
at
ethic and
21?
tenacity just continued to compound and roll over and snowball itself into what I have today.
It is easier to make money if you're white. 3, 2, 1, go.
My mentor is not white, and he's worth $204 million. So I think I've seen it firsthand. You know, most of my friend group is not whites, and they do very well for themselves.
I would say you're almost an exception with what the majority is. I think majority-wise, if you look at just the demographic of the United States, you know, whenever you think of trust fund babies, whenever you think of houses in the Hamptons, whenever you think of that luxury lifestyle, it's not usually the black demographic or people of color in general. For example, when slavery was a thing, white people had a 200-year head start to start their businesses, to set up their families for success and all that. So when black people finally had the opportunities, which was not until recently 1965 to really be in the same rooms as white people, you're looking at a large discrepancy in time and success and achievement. So I think just naturally in general, white people are taken as more serious because of the stereotypes that have been put on people of color. So that's where I'm like, I agree with that statement, not saying that people of color cannot be successful, but just saying that it's more likely for someone who is white to have better opportunities than someone who isn't.
I mean,
Let me know
in past generations, what you're saying is 100% true, right? If you're based on race, people perceive you differently. But I feel like now this new generation, you can become wealthy from the internet, right? Like you're in Forex, I'm in crypto. I don't have to have any face on the products I create. It doesn't matter what race I am, because if they don't know who I am selling the products to them, I don't think it's as, valid as a point today than it used to be in previous generations.
I agree.
That kid is 17 years old. He had to still ask his mom to come to this to come to the Jubilee show. And he's he's a millionaire at 16.
I mean, she changed my mind a little bit.
That's crazy.
I feel like I was a little bit too harsh, because you did make like a really good point. Statistically, you were 150% correct. Like you were right. But I think in my firsthand experience, just the people I've been around, a lot of them are not white and they are successful. So that's why I was like all the way to the right. Now I'm like here.
I think we forget that not everybody's job is online, and not everybody's job you can hide behind a screen, and most people work everyday jobs in person doing, customer service where people have to look at them. So I think if we're talking about if it's easier to make money as a white person, I would say yes, because applying to jobs, most of the time, if they go into an interview and they're a person of color, they're probably less likely to get that job than a white person. And also, a white person is probably gonna get paid more than a person of color. We've seen it in the statistics, so I think it is easier to make more money as a white person.
I think two things specifically. For one, although I'm right here, Indians make the most amount of money in America when it comes to any racial demographic group, which is great, so shout out to the Indians. But
That's crazy.
With that being said, I remember when I started my business, I had a very in-depth conversation with my father, and he said, Jay, if I were you, I would highly recommend staying behind the scenes and letting a white man run the business, because they get along with people a little bit better than we do, just because people don't understand Indians. But even in that, you could develop yourself to be a great CEO regardless. I mean, there's huge companies in America that they're all ran by Indian Americans or Indians.
Starbucks.
I mean, whether it's Google, whether it's Microsoft, I mean, these are all ran by Indian Americans. I'm Jay,
Really?
I'm the CEO and principal of Bodare. A quick 30 seconds in regard to who I am. I started programming at the age of 9. At 11, I started freelancing. I got my first contract with a local salon to build their website.
11?
And then at 14 is when I got my first large contract with a Fortune 500 company. At 15, I dropped out of high school to pursue my agency full time. And at 18, I moved to Dallas, Texas. I'm originally from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
I'm Isabella, and I am a designer.
He dropped out of high school at 15?
TV star. I started out on reality TV on the show Toddlers and Tiaras. I was 6 years old when I was named one of the youngest self-made millionaires, and I really loved fashion, so I created my first brand, which was a suit and blazer line, sold that to JCPenney for private labeling, started a jewelry company where you wins accomplishment bracelets. I created House of Bready, which is now my global business, which has made me more than $1 million now. And I'm also writing a book called A Teen's Guide to Business to show people how to become who I am today.
I have flaunted my wealth.
Bro, I'm not ever buying one of those books.
1, go.
Like, actually. I flaunted? What was flaunted
I
on
was
that?
bullied as a kid, so flaunting my wealth was kind of my way of saying, hey, I made it. And then kind of looking back at it, I wasn't as satisfied as I thought I would be. Like I thought, like, oh, I got the Lambo, and like everyone's like, oh my God, you know.
The rich customers eager to flaunt their prosperity.
I feel like I don't flaunt it, but like I've worked very hard. So if I want to post
yeah,
my
she
nice
got
car,
mad
I'm
bread.
gonna post my nice car because I made the money to buy that. If I want to post me buying something at Gucci, I'm gonna do that because I worked hard for that. It's not flaunting. It's more of like self, you know.
You're proud.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Google.
Exactly.
Do you ever feel guilty doing that? Because sometimes I do.
Yes.
In my like,
Oh my.
like I agree with you on the I
Brother,
used to get bullied like
I don't know what that word
crazy.
means.
I just
you know what that
I
word
feel
means?
guilty because
No.
I'm like some people just they won't have this opportunity, or maybe they will, but I just like my mindset around it. I feel bad sometimes, but at the same time, it's not like we're trust fund kids. We worked for it.
Anyone have a trust fund?
I wish.
No.
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 Okay, continue.
I definitely remember when I first started making a little bit of money, I would have those little corny Instagram flexes on your story. I won't lie.
Like the
Was like the
little
watch?
watch.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was like
Watch on the steering wheel.
I'm done.
right. It was like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But I think as I've
Yeah,
grown
I'm
up a
doing
little
that
bit,
most definitely.
It's not really. I don't do it as much.
I've just posted a video flying first class. Almost every single one of my thumbnails have NYC penthouse in it. So I do, I'm in strongly agree because I do flaunt it. But for me, the reason why I do it is, first of all, it's clickable. Everyone wants to, you know, see how did she do that? But also people can go back and see how I started and see how I grew myself up to there. And I get a lot of comments all the time being like, wow, it's so cool seeing you grow up from living in your friend's basement to now a penthouse. And I think the difference for me, instead of feeling like I'm showing off and stuff, is because I'm showing people how I did it in hopes to inspire people that aren't living this lifestyle, that maybe live the lifestyle that I used to, that it
those actually look like fake tattoos.
is achievable, and that if
Like
they
she just
want to
drew
live
them
this
on there with a
lifestyle,
marker.
potentially they could. My name is Mai. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm also the founder of my clothing line, Alchemy. I'm 20 years old now, but I made my first million when I was 18. I've just been doing YouTube for a very, very, very long time, but I feel like when I was younger and I wasn't making that much money, I learned how to budget my money a lot. So honestly, what drives me to do what I do every single day is just to be able to provide for the people around me and to be able to inspire as many creatives as I possibly can. Like, that is my main motive at this point. It's not for financial purposes anymore.
My name is Yusuf, and I'm a crypto entrepreneur. I was learning stocks and investing at quite a young age, around 10 years old. And I got into dropshipping. Then after around maybe like 20 attempts of failed stores, I hit one really big hit. And then in 2018, I bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins like Zilliqa and VeChain. And in 2021, I created my own cryptocurrency, and I started helping other people by building their cryptos for them. It was like, you know, it was a level up system. I did this, then I wanted that, and it just kept progressively getting better, I feel.
We should do a group trip to St. Bart's.
No, like, please.
We should actually.
Can you
That'd be
please do a group trip, y'all?
You're paying, right?
Of course. Liz, are you free next week? We're all going to St. Bart's. We'd love for you to come.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Let me just like
We'll book her
collect
flight.
all my credit cards.
Oh, we should actually.
You know how crazy that would
We should. Dude, we'll go here to Miami. Dude.
All right, we'll make it happen.
All right, let's get serious, guys.
Yo, a group of rich people going on vacation?
Serious.
Jokes.
It's a good
I
idea.
would be a different person if I didn't have this money.
Yo, that'd be crazy.
3, 2, 1, go.
If I have money or not, I'm still the same person. I always preach on my social media, just be authentic and be you, and people will love you for who you are.
Dead
I
ass.
think for me, when I didn't have money
The
and
same
I was
thing I
living at my
say.
parents' house, I had
So
a lot
serious.
of mental health issues. I was depressed and I was suicidal. And I think having the money to be able to move myself out of that environment completely changed my life. Having money has boosted my confidence so much, just in a way where I have a nose job, so I was able to do that. And I used to look in the mirror every single day and just cry and cry and cry because I thought I was so ugly. And having money now to be able to live wherever I want, live with whoever I want, and being able to, you know, change things about my appearance. So I think that money completely changed my life, and without it, my
No,
personality would
that saying money can't buy happiness.
even be the same, because when I was younger and I was in that toxic
money
household,
can't buy happiness to some things, yeah, but like you can apply that to some things, but
where my parents were arguing about money every single day, that made me such a negative person. I was not the optimistic, positive person that I am today, and I think that having money and getting myself out of that has completely changed my personality.
You know, I would agree money gives you a lot of opportunities. It allows you to afford a lot of things, get out of different environments. And I want that experience for everyone. So I love that you were able to take care of not only your family, but how your confidence is and allows you to hold your head higher. I love that for you. I think there's a saying that money doesn't change you. It amplifies who you already are. If you're usually a selfish person, you're gonna think everybody sees you for the money for the most part. You're gonna think everyone needs to owe you. If you're a cocky person, you're gonna make the money define who you are.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, I genuinely feel like I'm the same kid as I was when I started programming at the age of 9. Like, just a hardworking kid that wanted to make something out of himself. I feel as if I was just in college right now, I would still be like working hard at school, trying to improve myself. I'm still the same guy. I might dress a little bit nicer and eat better food, but fundamentally the same kid.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying, that, you know, your fundamentals stay the same, but to say
I
you were
still
the
can't believe
same
this kid is
person you were
actually
19
17 years old.
till you were now, right? I mean, like,
Nah, 17
I
and
feel
being a
like,
millionaire?
I don't know,
That's
maybe there's
actually
an alternate version of
crazy.
yourself that wasn't successful. If you go look at that, have a conversation
Like,
with that
what
person,
is that?
you can't say, oh, me and him are the same. I feel like to be strongly disagree is a bit too harsh. I feel like, you know, experiences have definitely shaped your being, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I would be at. Like, I feel like, yes, I still am the same.
That's very fair.
Yeah, I feel like I still am the same person. Like, I still like the same things, but like he said, experiences 100% shape you. Like, the people you're around, that rubs off. And right now, my best friends in high school are like cracking like 100 beers a day and like posting on their Snapchat story. It's like, I would be with them right now. So I would 100% not be the same person. You know, now I'm doing different things.
That's a really good example. So I feel as if although the experience would be
I think most of them
different,
are
as an
entrepreneurs, right?
individual, I genuinely feel I'm the same guy. Always worked hard. I mean, I have immigrant parents. I always had a little bit of a burden on my head. It transitioned very organically for me to become an entrepreneur, and I think that's the difference. But that's why I also had to go to disagree in terms of, actually, maybe I'll go to somewhat disagree.
I had a question. You've been talking about work ethic a lot, but do you think that it's changed your confidence or the way you view certain things? Like, aside from work, do you think it's changed you?
Work ethic, I think, is single-handedly the most important thing when it comes to any success in life. Like, I used to be a very chubby and overweight guy. I got my shit together and dropped my ignorance, did all the research, and I ended up getting into really good shape. So that all really just comes from your work ethic at the end of the day.
As a society, the number one thing we chase is money, because money is what all of our problems kind of lie under, what the bills lie under, what just living a life lies under, what eating lies under. And so for a lot of people, they don't have the opportunities, they don't have the freedom, they don't have the breathing room. So every single day is just chasing money and living paycheck to paycheck. When you do have money, you can take the step back and be like, okay, all of that's taken care of. Let me focus on me, let me focus on my relationships, let me focus on repairing things. So I think that's a really big privilege that I think we do have. And I think it's subjective to all of us. Like, we all have different experiences. So I think money has changed people, but I think the connotation is always a bad thing. And that's why people fight so hard for, no, money hasn't changed me. But I think even when money does change you, it can be for good.
Exactly.
You know, and so I think it's just subjective to how we feel individually about it.
I feel like all of us are very.
I am lonely. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, man.
Forget y'all. Like,
I think, like, in a work aspect,
Lonely?
no, I'm not lonely. In a personal aspect, absolutely. Like, a lot of my friends, we don't do the same things. I love them to death. They have great morals. They're great people. But like mentally wise, it's very different.
Yeah,
and
look at these custom
like,
emotes. Yeah. Look at these custom
I feel
emotes.
lonely.
I prefer being kind of alone.
Oh.
Me too. I've grown to like it.
I
but-
Like
agree
I
with that,
enjoy it
yeah.
a lot.
I enjoy
to be
alone
honest
time.
with you. Like sometimes I literally just want to go out at night and just drive alone or just be in my house alone. I'm kind of an antisocial person because I was forced to be like that as a young kid because people did not like me. They bullied me. They did not want to spend time with me. So I guess that kind of molded me into being like preferring to be alone. It's hard to find like-minded 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
Right.
And actually, I was gonna say, being in this room right now, that
Course they're
completely, I
tough,
was like,
bro.
It's like the
Of course
first
they're tough.
time I don't feel lonely. Like all my friends are 24, 25, 26,
Yeah,
27.
Same. Oh my God.
They're all about to
Old
have like kids, and
My
I'm
friends
like,
are getting married.
yeah, you
I'm
know?
like, what the?
And like this is like the first time
is-
I've been able to have
Yeah.
like a educated conversation with someone my age. Like usually an 18, 19-year-old's like, yeah, dude, college party, man, tonight. Like, let's go. Like, you know,
No,
but
I
this
feel
is like
lonely in that
cool.
sense too. I think when it
Look,
comes
you making
to
all the girls
actually
laugh.
having friends, I ain't
It's
got
hard.
no
I
friends.
ain't got nobody.
It's
hard.
because there's always a difference. I mean, if you're talking about, it gets to the point if I want to hang out with my friends, then I'm
Yeah,
the one paying for
W
everything,
is.
and it's a really difficult position
Yeah.
for me. Like one of my biggest prayers that I've been praying for like the last year is for God to introduce me to girlfriends, like friends that are girls that are doing the same thing I'm doing, that are doing really well. I think it's awesome that we're all in this room.
I'm
But,
I'm happy that we all did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, you guys aren't lonely? Like you don't like to be lonely?
Yeah.
No, like
Look
I,
at them.
I feel like I thought
Like,
you were gonna be like you're a
They're
crypto
just
trader.
flexing on
Like,
us. Like,
I mean, like, I enjoy my own company, you know, I love just spending time myself, going on walks, etc. But like, have big networks of other like-minded crypto people and different traders. So I'm blessed in that sense. Like maybe some of you are saying, like, I know you were saying that you don't have people you could talk to about like your age who are like, you know, into the Forex industry. And I feel like I'm surrounded with a lot of people. Maybe they are older, but I don't mind that. I don't mind having friends who are 24, 25, 26, you know?
you don't? I do.
I
So
don't.
I feel like they don't have the same problems as me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like still trying to find like my first girlfriend that's gonna last
Just
more
shut
than
Yeah,
a
but
year,
they were
you
17
know?
once, right? Or they were 17, 18 once. So
Yeah,
if
but
you talk to them, then they would
it's not.
have-
It's different when you're not in the same because they look at.
Anyone can make themselves a millionaire.
3, 2, 1, go.
Really?
Yeah, I agree.
There's so much free
The re-
advertising, YouTube.
I mean, the reason
think-
why.
Yeah,
What's
go
your
ahead.
argument to say that not everyone can make themselves a millionaire? Is it the like non-equality thing or like
Well, I think-
resources?
If you really
Depends.
look at the likelihood
Yeah,
you
no,
make
it
$1,000
definitely does
1,000 times,
depend.
which is just insane. Like, I think everyone can try their hardest, but you won't always get the right exposure to have $1 million put into. You won't always get the right opportunities. It's easy for us because we've done it to be like, well, I did it, so anybody else can do it. But there are many people that do exactly what we do, but yet you are in the position you're in for a reason. There's a lot of people that build apps and have like a company surrounded by that. There's a lot of people that have done crypto and now their lives are in shambles. There's a lot of people that have done drop shipping and it was the worst thing they ever did. There's a lot of people that have built different companies and it was next to nothing. And there's millions and millions of bloggers on YouTube and it's amounted to nothing, even for me.
Oh,
I
she's
know
actually
so many people
smart.
that trade.
Like, she has
and I'm
things to
like,
say.
it's gonna be very hard for you to get to where I'm at because I traded and built a company, but to trade to $1 million is insane.
But it's still possible for them
Yeah.
to do it. No.
It's possible, but to say anyone,
But
but here's the thing.
But also
and
the reason.
technically, like if you're looking at it as a standpoint, anybody can. You
I mean,
know.
the reason why, I mean, I also think I'm very privileged, to be honest with you, because I have, like, my mentor, he comes from, like, the projects. Like, from the projects, and he's worth 9 figures. So for me, I go, if he came from that circumstance in life,
But I also think that most of us are in the US and that's where a lot of money is made, but a lot of people don't get granted a visa to come here. Think about the people that don't have internet. They don't have the library to go to get the internet. And also think about the people that from their family situation, for some reason now they're homeless. And in order to, people always say, well then get a job, but in order to get a job, you need to be able to have a home address and not everybody has that. It's just those little things that we don't think about to even get to that first step of getting a job.
But here's the thing, right? Like you were mentioning earlier, you're basically saying that, oh, people's lives are in shambles because of crypto or Forex, but it's very rarely the mistake of external factors. It's because they did a mistake along the way, right? They were too reckless with their research and they just dumped all their money into it. I feel like the reason why I'm here, I wish there was maybe another one, but it's because
I don't even know. I just agree.
I feel like it is possible, but depending on your circumstance, it could be exponentially harder, right? If you're like someone from like Ethiopia who has no internet access, for instance, then of course it's going to be so much harder, but it's still possible. I mean, if you
But
like you're
what
saying,
would you recommend they should do?
I mean,
think
I
if
don't
you,
know. I'm
if
not
you
that.
say like it's easier, because I'm Nigerian. I recently just came from Nigeria. They get paid like $100 a month,
Yeah.
and that's insane to them. So I feel like if you're gonna say, okay, well, if you don't have internet access, it's still possible. Give an example of how it's possible.
I know someone who's actually Nigerian, but then there was a public library he went to, which was like 3 hours away, and then he created cryptocurrency from that. So while I feel like to say it's impossible is too much, because I believe nothing in this universe is impossible.
Yeah.
There's always a certain extent where something can be achieved. I think, you know, even the most crazy situation is 99.99% impossible, but nothing's 100% impossible, right? So I feel like to say there's a type of person that can 100% can't be a millionaire is very rare.
But it's not about making money. There's a certain type of person that a millionaire. That's
a crazy
that's
thing
completely
to say.
different.
Yeah, but anything's possible.
I think, okay, if somebody asked you, right, to put it in your terms, what is your prediction for Bitcoin, for example? You wouldn't tell them anything's possible to go to 100 million.
No.
You would actually back it up with actual like facts and statistics as to why. So when I think of just logically thinking, can anyone become a millionaire? It's like, you want to back that up. And if you say, I mean, yeah, they barely get paid and they don't live in a house and they're eating and drinking water from a river, but anything's possible. It's like,
But how do
where
homeless
you
people get jobs then?
think of is the government.
How do homeless people get jobs?
You know, and the different pay.
Similar experiences, even.
How are they supposed to get jobs when they don't have an address? Like, they don't have an average address means they can't get a job.
That was deep. You gotta look deep to find the deep things. If all you ever do in your life is stay at the surface, you'll never find anything worth exploring. Are you real? I try to be.